Hi everyone, welcome to this reading. I have my crystal ball off to the side, so I will be scrying throughout this message. If you're new to my channel, my readings are a little different. If you're turning, welcome back. You know how we do if it doesn't resonate with you, if you're forcing the story to fit, arguing with it in any way, just leave it behind for the people who it's meant for. And channel members, you guys are going to have a video in the next few days. Keep an eye out for that, because I am going to announce some things. Okay, so let's see. Cut, no cut, no cut. Okay. Whew, okay. I can already tell I'm big energy. Let's go. All right. Taking a step aside. Allowing spirit to pass through me. Opening up to receive information. I'm seeing like a fern frond, like the fiddle. And oh, listen to that. Whenever I see the fiddles, it's almost like an expansion. It makes me think of like fractals. So there's something here that's really speaking to me, almost like of a fractal nature, where things spiral out, they spiral in, they spiral out. This is almost like life, death, rebirth, the seasons, the sun coming and going throughout the like winter and summer solstice. It's all the different cycles, how things move in a circular, cyclical fashion, and eventually they collapse in on themselves. And this is almost like cosmic cycle, but I don't feel like that's the point. I almost feel like the point that someone has reached is beyond that. Ooh, this is big energy. Like a higher perspective of something, to be able to see outside of the limitations, maybe of time, maybe of space itself, maybe of the way that we're programmed to think by our neural pathways, maybe by the language that we use as human beings to convey things that keep us stuck in certain ideologies. There's some very big outside the box sort of perspective that someone has recently gained. Yeah, I mean, look at this. So when we have the Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands is fences make good neighbors. That's what I call it when I see this, because that's the old name for it. And when we have this Nine of Wands, this is really like, I'm here, you're there. These are the categories. These are the labels. This is how everything works. This is where things belong, right? It's that kind of energy. And this bird's above it. They're sitting on top of it. They're sitting on this one like, nope, I went over it. I went around it. And all these birds out here, it's almost like, oh yeah, hey buddy, nice to meet you. It's like someone here has joined, and I'm just going to say it this way. Someone here has joined the ranks of those who have risen above this story, this human story. Oh, interesting. Okay, so let's see. And it's almost like this awareness that these stories, or this human story, is kind of samsara, right? It's what's keeping the cycle going. It's what keeps the cycle going. Very interesting. Someone, because of this, it's almost like I can't unsee what I have seen. And now it's almost like looking back at all the things, because that's what I'm kind of seeing here, and then he's looking back. So it's looking back at all the pieces and understanding, oh yeah, that's true about that. Oh yeah, that's true about that too. And it's almost like the landscape is changing. Like the terrain somebody is operating on is beginning to shift and beginning to change because of this awareness. Whoa. We have here, where are you being called to journey to? Okay. And what are you clinging to on the bottom? So I feel that there's almost like this assessment of, going deep inside someplace, maybe into like some hidden part of the self that we haven't yet fully developed, but we are now aware is there after this experience. It's like a perception of the self, or a perception of unconscious energy. That's how I want to put it. I don't want to say conscious. I want to say unconscious, like a subconscious energy, because of the water. That's why that's bringing that up to me. And this sort of like, Petra standing there is like a symbol of something ancient and old and pervasive and cosmic. So this is almost like And like we have the feats of mankind, all those things that we're driven to do by the subconscious. Because if you don't know about the subconscious and how it drives us to do things, definitely learn a little bit about neuroscience and what they're discovering about the subconscious. Super fascinating stuff. But we're almost like looking at the different ideas that have separated us from a particular understanding of that facet of our mind. Maybe ideas that we have about that facet of our mind that are pigeonholing it into certain categories. This is really beautiful, because this energy, it's almost like someone is coming into this awareness of how much beauty is actually there, as opposed to this is some dark force inside of you that is causing these terrible things inside your life. It's like someone is tapping into, no, this is the generative power. Love it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I feel like I'm supposed to cut this now, so let's cut it. What do we got? We got the Page of Swords. So somebody's learning. When we have the Page of Swords, this page is small. He's so tiny. He's so cute. And, he might be standing over that cliff. And if that sword tilts too far one way, he might go over that cliff. Flirting with the edge of madness is kind of how that feels to me. But he's growing into that sword. And the more that he learns and the more time goes on, because time is a factor in that, it takes time to integrate certain information. Unless you feel like something has happened that has put you outside of that construct of time in some way. But I'll leave that for you to decide. He's growing into this sword. He's growing into the full measure of the weight of that sword and what that sword means and the responsibility of that sword, or the irresponsibility of that sword. Or is there even any responsibility or responsibility to begin with? I'm almost feeling like there's a riddle in this. It's almost like a grand riddle, a cosmic joke of some kind. And but he's for it. He's like looking towards this horizon, towards this bright new beginning, and he can't wait to grow into that sword. Like, yeah, let's go explore this vista. But at the same time, if you look at him, his body posture is like, but I'm going to stand right here. I can explore by standing right here. I can do by doing nothing. Again, this is a very interesting reading, because there's some challenging concepts that are pervasive inside of the human story, inside of our beliefs about ourselves, our beliefs about evolution, de-evolution, about awakening, and falling asleep, and all these things that are kind of tied up in this. Where if you notice, nobody's actually looking forward. No one's actually saying, "Hey, I'm here." They're all looking away. The people are looking away. The birds are looking in the past. And more so than just looking in the past, it's almost like collating certain things that we've believed up until this point and understanding how we can deconstruct them. And then we have the Seven of Swords. This is really learning about the ways that we may have kept ourselves stuck by believing in certain concepts of self and expansion. I hate to say that, because I feel like some people will take that as like an excuse not to do the thing, and that's not what this is saying. This is definitely somebody who has had this experience, that they've basically kind of like, their mind has been blown open in some way, and in this blowing open of the mind, they understand that this energy is not really there, right? This was a choice. So it's almost like all the boxes, like, because we talk about that on this channel, about the boxes opening up. It's almost like all the boxes just blew open, like somebody had an inspiration hurricane. Okay, and then the last one, here we go. The Ace of Pentacles. This is a new beginning for somebody. It's like a new chapter in someone's path, with this equipped and armed with this new understanding that maybe there's not a whole lot to even understand. It's very liberating. I almost see him as the Fool on the Fool card, but notice how he doesn't have his baggage anymore. He doesn't have the things that he carried with him. This is like really leaning hard for me into some concepts of like Tibetan Buddhism, but it doesn't mean that you have to practice Tibetan Buddhism or even study it for this to have happened to you. It's leaning that way for me, because this is something that they actually talk about in more esoteric terms. But yeah, there's just this lightning. It's like this lightning strike of inspiration that has blown something open, so that now we can see the truth of it, rather than maybe what everyone else is kind of privy to. It's like getting to glimpse behind the scenes. That sort of like Wizard of Oz energy has come up many, many times in the last like 2 weeks in the readings. I think I've said it like twice. It's come up more than that for me. I just use different terminology than that. But that's kind of how it feels. It's almost like we're understanding some aspect of our deep mind. And now, rather than viewing it as something that we battle with or something we have to sift through, it's like we're getting a peek behind the curtain. And this has put somebody up here rather than being stuck down here, and really coming into a space where we understand that those certain storylines that, and you know, what humans have kind of constructed about it are part of the way that we've been stuck in some way. Interesting. Fascinating. Okay, I'm gonna leave this here. This is a very short one. Oh no, it's not. Okay, they told me no. There's more. Okay, what is it? Where am I going? Okay, I'm going over here. Okay. I'm seeing the symbol for phosphorus. Interesting. Am I pulling a rune or not? Like, trying to... Am I pulling a rune? I have to wait for one. Oh, there we go. It fell. Okay, coming to get ya. Let's see. Oh, why must you fall? Okay. So I'm seeing this here. It's Nauthi's, the need fire. This is almost an energy that it's like, this is what we understand has constructed all of these layers. Oh, there's that symbol for phosphorus again. So, okay, so if you're not familiar with the element of phosphorus essentially all throughout like hermetic and esoteric history, it's considered light trapped in matter. It's phosphoros is the Greek, and in Latin they turned it into Lucifer, light bringer, right? Which is what phosphorus means. And phosphorus essentially is a substance that contains like illumination, and it's phosphorescent, right? So this is the element that basically the Golden Dawn modeled their symbol off of. It's the idea that the divine is trapped inside of a vessel, and this is what someone has unleashed, right? And for the purposes of this reading, I think whoever this message is for, you're not using the terminology of light. Maybe you are, but for some of you, you're not even using that terminology anymore. You understand that it's something about having been illuminated here, these two energies within the mind space. So this is very much, oh, even look at this, even how like this light beam is going in here, and this is kind of like our card that's symbolizing the subcon. It's almost like understanding that the darkness is the light trapped in matter. Oh, it's like I said, it's this dual, it's this riddle. It's like this very interesting riddle, and I'm probably not even doing it service here, but I'm just giving it the way that it's coming through and that I'm able to verbalize it. But yes, it's like awakening to divine nature in some way without even having to conceive of it as divine nature, because by doing so misses the point. So fascinating. This is fascinating. So yeah, whoever's message this is, good luck with this energy. And if this resonates for you, please hit that like button. Feel free to leave me a comment, and until next time.